Welcome to the Y Experience with your girl Monique Nicole, where this platform is designed to inspire, motivate, and empower individuals to reach their goals and dreams. This week, we have none other than Dr. Marshall, and she's going to share with us her story as a military service person, forgive me, and all of the organizations that she has decided to create in order to empower individuals that may have some disadvantages. So, with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and, as we always do, start with the intro. Hello, Dr. Marshall. Welcome to the Y Experience.
Thank you so very much, Miss Nicole.
Well, I want to go ahead and get straight into it as we ask every guest that comes on this platform, what is your why? And so when we ask that question, it's why are you the person that you are, the things that you're doing? What has motivated you to do these things?
I would honestly have to say that my journey to where I am has been a very circuitous route. It has been filled with learning opportunities, with challenges, with victories, with difficulties. But ultimately, I am who I am, and I am a person who is committed to helping disadvantaged persons in transitions, especially women veterans and persons who have been formerly incarcerated. And that is who I am.
Wow. Okay. All right, Dr. Marshall. Well, Dr. Marshall, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start sort of at the beginning. Okay. We know that you have military service, and we want to start to say, because that's primarily where your life's journey has been. Can you tell us sort of where the little girl came to transition to say, hey, I want to come into military service? Why is that?
Well, the choice to enter military service came for me about midlife.
Oh,
I was
really?
working, yeah, I was working in Charlotte. I was working with Bell South company selling yellow page ads, and there was a young woman, Betty, who marched through on a regular basis through the sales area wearing a Navy uniform. And I just so admired it. I heard her story. I inquired about how she got there, how she got to do it, what were some of the exciting moments. And that's what piqued my interest in joining the military.
Really? Oh my goodness. How old were you actually when you actually came in?
About mid 30s.
Really? Oh
Well,
my goodness.
I should say early 30s because I had just given birth. So early to mid 30s.
Oh wow. Just you were doing your thing, you're selling yellow pages, and you're like, hey, this lady right here, and the connection and the journey. So which branch did you just well let me slow down. The connection with identifying with her, and that made you solely decide which branch to select.
Well, actually, it led me to research all the branches. I
Okay.
actually spoke with recruiters from every branch.
Okay.
Yeah, from Army, from Navy, from Air Force. So I did some of the homework to
Okay.
hear what would be the options, what would be the requirements to come in
Hmm.
as a Navy chaplain, and
Okay.
from there, I just kind of worked the details from there.
Okay. So then you selected the Navy branch of service.
Right.
Okay. So what did that look like coming in? Because a lot of people, they turn around and they say, hey, I'm too old. Because I even considered it, and I was like, I'm in my 30s. I'm too old. It's just not. This is not going to work. But you made that decision um, to say, hey, I'm going in anyway. So what did it look like coming in as an older person because you got all these 18, 19-year olds that are, fresh out of school, and you're coming in. Did you have to do the basic training portion?
I definitely had to do basic training. In fact, I went to two separate basic trainings. One, as an enlisted person, I came
Mhm.
in as a yeoman and was later commissioned as a Navy officer. So I had the opportunities to experience basic training on two different levels. And just to kind of circle back to your question,
Yeah.
I did enter at a point beyond 30, but coming in as a chaplain, most of the chaplains actually enter as older people because of the amount of study time that's required in order to be commissioned.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're required to have the bachelor's degree and then a master's degree and likely 2 to 3 years of experience. So by the time you get all that education behind you, you're a seasoned person.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you had already had the educational background to just, boom, boom, boom. I come in, I do the basic training, then we jump from there, and then we, and let me know if I'm not using the correct terminology, go straight into officer school. Or was that
Yes.
time in there?
Well, there was some times and there was some periods and there was quite a bit of on-the-job training
Okay.
where the
Okay.
Navy sent me to various, I went to a Marine unit, I
Okay.
went to various other settings to get
Mm-hmm.
experience. Well, they wanted you to see what it's like to be a chaplain in 7 or 8 different settings. So I got a chance to do that.
So,
I came in as a chaplain candidate program officer.
okay.
And
Okay.
as a program officer, they sent you, so you got to go to Florida, to California, to New Jersey. You got to go and to counsel and to preach at all these different settings. So they wanted you to get a real taste of what it was like.
So what would you say during that? Because, and I heard you mention a second ago that when you came in, you had just had your daughter, or you just had a baby. I'm sorry.
That is correct. I gave birth in 1986.
So you were doing basic training or coming into the military, and you had a young child.
Yes, I did.
How was that? Traveling, and like you're saying, you're all over the country, and you have a young baby.
That was indeed a learning experience. You get to rely on your community at that point. And I realized how important it was to have extended family, to have neighbors that care, to have teachers that you work with. So there was a lot of coordination in having a young child and deciding to enter the military.
But you had the community support to,
Yes.
allow you to make the moves that you needed to make. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Was a lot of that military based, somewhere that, they had programs that would help assist when you needed to leave and things of that nature?
Well, most of these were primarily community and family oriented.
Okay.
Yeah, because for the first tour or so, my daughter did not go with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I left my family behind in Charlotte, and then I was the one that traveled out because I didn't want to take her out of her school, take her out of her away from her friends and from her
The
community.
familiarity. I get it. I get it. I get it. Was that difficult for you though? You got your baby, and you're not with your baby, and
Well, it was,
yeah.
and I realized I had some hard choices to make, but I saw some things ahead for her and
Mhm.
for us, so it was worth the sacrifice.
Sometimes I think that people, when they see military servicemen, regardless of where you're serving, because you make that sacrifice, because you still have a family. That's the reality. There, you have a family, but you make that sacrifice for your country. And in this moment, I want to say thank you, because I know how I feel about my children. I have 5, and so
Goodness.
they're grown, but then it's that thing. It was like, oh, man, they're gone. That's been my life, so I couldn't just separate. Now they're leaving me, so that's my own little transition. But just to say, you got young children or a young child, and it's like, I have to leave to do what I need to do, because of the fact that, hey, this is now my job. This is what I do. This is how I serve my country. And so
That
I
for
first
me is essentially what you're describing. That was my why experience. Yeah.
got you, just for your child. I get it. I get it. Okay, so now we're here. Your
Okay, I'm having some
chaplain.
mic difficulties right now.
No, that's not a problem. Are we better now, Dr. Marshall?
Yes, we are. We maneuvered our way through that.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Um, I lost my train of thought. I was all into it. So so I'm just gonna say for this moment, so we're due to technical difficulties, we are back in. Um, so Dr. Marshall, we're gonna pick up where we stopped off. So we had the baby. We're moving and transitioning. So when it comes to selecting or making the decision to come in as a chaplain, where did that come from?
Well, as you said, prior to that, I had already been to seminary. I actually went to seminary in the late 70s.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. So I'd gone to Duke. I'd earned a degree. To become a Navy chaplain, though, it required some additional on-the-job experiences and some other coursework. So I had to make some sacrifices and several trips back and forth to Durham to take additional courses in order to get
okay,
qualified.
okay. So well then let's piggyback off of that a little bit. Well, you went to Duke. You went to Duke Divinity. Why did you do that?
There was a call on my life, a call to ministry, a call to teach. There was a call. I heard that call during my studies in undergrad at UNC Charlotte.
Okay,
I led Bible studies, I led worship experiences. I was just engaged in the faith life there on campus. So
okay.
there was a need to do that.
And
That
so
was
you
my
made
why experience.
all right. So then you made that decision to say, hey, you know what, we're going to I like to say structure.
Yes,
And you took the steps to do Duke Divinity and Divinity. I'm talking too fast. And you also have United Theological Seminary.
right, right. And that was a degree that I earned during my time on Navy chaplaincy. There were quite a few chaplains that were pursuing courses of study, getting some specialized training and honing
Mhm,
their skills. So that was an
mhm.
opportunity to get that training.
Great, great. So when we hear when we talk to Dr. Marshall, that Dr. Marshall just didn't just jump out there. Dr. Marshall has some structure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're here. We're you're a Navy chaplain, and so now we are. When did it come? When did it come to an end?
I actually left active duty January 2001, but I continued to drill. I was a drill and reservist up until about 2004 or 5.
Okay.
But my DD 214 says that I left the military in March of 2011. So that's when it says that I wrapped it all up.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I did a lot of opportunity, a lot of just standing in, preaching, funerals, doing stuff.
Okay. You'd like to stay busy.
Yeah, so I enjoy that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. That's wonderful that you serve your country in this capacity. I think it's fabulous. So let's get into where we are now and the things that you're doing. I don't know exactly which one. Which one would you like to share? We can start off on Epic Women, Jubilee Empowerment, Steps and Stages. Which one was the first baby that you wanted to birth?
The first baby was Steps and Stages. Well, actually, they're all cousins. Everything is connected.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, Steps and Stages began in 2005 in my own house there in Fayetteville. I began housing homeless and transitional women veterans, um, seeking out resources, services with the VA and other places just to help them move to a safer, more stable place in their lives. And I did that continuously until 2010. And
hmm
then 2010 is when I took my VA check, gave my daughter my $25,000 check, and we put that down on a house, a VA foreclosure.
okay. Now, what was now? This is for was this for the organization, or this is just you wanted to just purchase the house?
Well, I purchased the house because I had so many women veterans coming in and out of my house. and my children had given up as much space as they were going to. So I purchased a house so that we could have a dedicated site to offer services and spiritual support to women veterans.
Oh,
And
I
we
get it.
named it Jubilee House after Leviticus chapter 25, the year of Jubilee. So whenever you hear me say anything about Jubilee, it's coming from Leviticus chapter 25.
All right. All right. So you are really all in. You took out the time to search out, you dedicated your home. So you dedicated yourself to the country, you dedicated your home um to people that have been disadvantaged, and helping them transition to, to pick up the steps to keep on going. It doesn't stop. Sometimes we get knocked down. I've been knocked down, but having being that helping hand, because many people aren't going to make the sacrifice to let people in their house.
Mm.
I mean, that's the truth. They're like, you know what? I'll let somebody else do it. They're not going to do it. And you made the like ultimate sacrifice. You've given up your home, and it wasn't like it was just to one person. It was transitioning people, to help them to get on their feet. Why the compassion so much? Why the devotion?
Well, again, I think much of it, as you inquired about earlier, came from my early rearings, my early growing up.
Mm-hmm.
My own mother dealt with quite a bit of transition, with
Mm-hmm.
some homelessness, with lack of resources and support. So I saw a lot of that through her eyes, and I had a desire to make a difference for women in transition.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because you put in the work. A lot of
Yeah.
people talk about it, but you put in the work. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to jump to your Facebook page real quick. And we're going to share. Which one do you want to start off with? You want to share
Well,
the.
I'm all excited about Epic Women Vets. That's like the 2021 version of where we are and where we're
Okay.
going.
All right. So let's talk about that then. All right. Let's pull that up. All right. We are here.
Yeah.
So Epic Women Vets. So you guys, when you guys go on to Facebook, Epic Women Veterans of North Carolina and South Carolina. This is a public group. Um, so as I scroll, Dr. Marshall, I see North Carolina Veterans License Plate. What do we have going on here?
We have much excitement and anticipation going on. This has been a process about a decade in the making, dreaming, hoping, envisioning a
Okay.
distinctive, specialized license plate for the women veterans of North Carolina. We've been working back and forth been in conversation with Department of Motor Vehicles, with various representatives over the course of this dream. But this year we're a bit closer. We have a representative, a representative person who's going to be championing this for us and with us. His name is Nashif Majid. Excuse me if I don't pronounce it right, but I do know that he is a proud United States Vietnam veteran, Air Force veteran, flew combat missions over Vietnam. So he has a real passion for women veterans.
Awesome. So with this license plate, how are we official, or what are the ways? Or let me ask you, are we official? Do we actually have the plate, or is there more work to it?
There's much more work to it.
So what
There's
do we
quite
need to do?
We need to have at least 300 women veterans or persons who support women veterans who have made application for this license plate. And you can submit your applications at womenvets@hotmail.com.
Okay.
If you reach out to us, we can provide you with the form, but on that information, there is a link that sends you straight to the DMV form that you complete to apply for the application.
Fabulous. Okay. All right, Dr. Marshall. So what we're going to do is we're going to start support. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I have one thing to say.
Yes, ma'am.
We are naming, well, we are hoping to name this Women Veterans license plate in honor of PFC Asia Marie Graham. She was a 19-year-old woman veteran, um, from originally from Cherry Point, North Carolina, who died suddenly the
Oh my
31st
goodness.
of December 2020. She was 19 years old,
Oh my
but she
goodness.
was full of life. She was just motivated. She was a hard charger. She was all the things that make you proud to be a woman veteran.
Oh my
So we'd
goodness.
like to name that in her honor.
Wonderful. So what we're going to do on this platform, and everybody that's watching, we're going to submit the link in the bottom with the email, and we want you guys to support. Okay, this is important. We're naming this after this young lady that was has been taken too soon, but we're going to honor her with this license plate, and we just need to get 150 more, Dr. Marshall.
Exactly.
And you don't, before I go out here quoting stuff, we don't have to be a veteran. So I can submit an application to say, hey, we want this license plate.
Well, we're working on that part. In fact, that has been a part of the conversation with DMB. I've tried to negotiate with them, and all they said was, get the form, fill it out, we'll make the determination.
Well, then you know what? Well, then we're all going to bombard. Then that's what we're going to do.
Exactly.
We're going to bombard. I think there's no reason not to. I think it's quite simple. At the same time, if you guys reach out to me, I'll get in contact with Dr. Marshall. Same thing. We'll have the link in the bio. Guys, we need to support. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. We need to support. This is a license plate in honor of a young lady's life that served our country, that made that sacrifice. For every service person, my child is a service person. We live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is Fort Bragg. There's plenty of service personnel. You guys, we need to support. And this license plate, it's to recognize, period. We need to recognize women veterans, period. But we really need to talk about women veterans, because when we talk about veterans, it's not as though, or we talk about military service persons, we think about men first of all. We need to bring out the fact that there are women out here serving. Dr. Marshall is one of those service people who came in, and she's helping service members on the chaplain side. That's necessity, because what you guys face out there, everybody on a regular day is not facing that. You're not facing that stress of being separated from your family, or the families that are separated from their family member. You guys aren't dealing with that. So in order to honor what they do, and let me say this, and I'm just throwing this out there, they
I'm
don't get paid
excited.
enough. They don't get paid enough for what they do. They make life sacrifices. We need to support. So filling out an application, it is not costing you anything to fill out this application.
Mm-mm.
So I would hope that you guys are supporting, and we're gonna play this one over and over and over till we get those 300 in there, Dr. Marshall. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
I
push this
am
really,
so
really hard.
grateful.
So and we're gonna push all over the country. We're gonna follow up. We're gonna make this happen.
I'm so excited.
So, Dr. Marshall, is there anything else that you want to share? Because you are the real deal. Your compassion and just giving, you've sacrificed, your children have sacrificed, and I think it's phenomenal with all of the organizations. Just to touch on it, that you are a Navy veteran, you're a philanthropist, you are in that sector, being a Navy veteran, that you are the chaplain, and now you help people across the board that are disadvantaged, primarily focusing on women veterans, and disabled persons. And I want to just say thank you, because you are that person that we need out there. Everybody's not doing it. So, is there anything else that you want people to know or share with people, that, hey, we need your help?
Well, Monique Nicole, I'd like to say that we salute you. We
Oh,
salute. Yeah, we do. We salute you. We salute your enthusiasm. We salute your determination. We salute everything that you do in order to maintain this platform and allow us to tell our story. So, hats off to you.
oh, well, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do this because I just feel like, some people they just need that voice. That's
Hmm.
all. People need to know what's going on. You know,
Hmm.
until we did this interview, I didn't know, but we need to let people know. They need to
Yeah.
know.
And I'm just so excited about the title of your event, your platform, the Why Experience. That just says so much. I'm tempted to write a book with using that same title. So if you see a book with that title, I'll give you credit somewhere.
Not a problem. Not a problem, Dr. Marshall. Not a problem at all. So, you guys, if you have anything else to share, or this will conclude it, Dr. Marshall, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this up. You guys, I want you guys to support. That's it. Just support. So with that being said, this is your girl, Monique Nicole. You can find me at www.iammoniquenicole.com. We are Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is Monique, I am Monique _Nicole. And Facebook is I am Monique Nicole. So you guys, until next time, go be awesome.